Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is a game that came out back in late September of this year. So that was more than 2 months ago. And honestly, it has done okay so far in terms of sales because last time I checked, it did somewhere between 2 and 3 mil in terms of sales. And quite honestly, it's one of the more high profile, like, Switch games that we've gotten this year, along with the Princess Peach game and the Super Mario Party Jamboree game. And honestly, like, Echoes of Wisdom is a game that a lot of people have nothing but good things to say about it for the most part, because a lot of people are praising various aspects of the game, such as new mechanics, elemental dungeons, the story, the puzzles, the type of abilities and combat that Zelda has and her arsenal and all those things that pretty much made this game very interesting because a lot of people didn't think we were ever going to get a Zelda game where Zelda was actually the main playable character or anything like that, because a lot of people are used to Link being the main character and rescuing Zelda and all that, and that's been the case for 30 plus years now. And I will say that having Zelda as the main character is actually something that's quite refreshing, and it's something that Nintendo probably should have done years ago. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who feel like this game probably should have sold way more than it did ever since it came out. And honestly, like, I honestly feel like with video games, um, it doesn't seem like there's too many games that's selling like more than people would expect, because in relation to games in general, I feel like games have a hard time reaching 3 or 4 mil in terms of sales. I can definitely see this game surpassing 4 mil in sales sometime early in 2025. I expect sales to definitely go up during like the holiday season, because like when you look at like high profile video games for the Nintendo Switch, there's not too many that came out this year other than the names I have just mentioned. And 2025, like the biggest like Switch game that people are talking about for next year is Metroid Prime 4. So I don't think we're going to get any major Zelda game in 2025, at least not to my knowledge. Nintendo hasn't announced anything, in relation to other big time Switch games. We might have a couple of surprises. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But I feel like, Echoes of Wisdom is a game that like it's good that it came out this year, because if it came out last year, a lot of people would have forgotten about it, considering how stacked it was in 2023 in relation to high profile video game releases and all that stuff. And Echoes of Wisdom is a game. It gives you like 50 plus hours of gameplay. It's something that is supposed to appeal to children along with a general audience. It's nothing too dark. It's pretty simplistic, and it's something that I think long time um, fans of the Zelda series would probably have a hard time adjusting to, I guess, having someone other than Link as a playable character. Some people probably like the fact that Nintendo decided to do something different. Some people thought making Zelda the main protagonist was Nintendo going woke, and quite frankly, I feel like they should have Zelda as a main playable character in more Zelda games. And as far as like Echoes of Wisdom is concerned, I'm not even sure whether or not it's canon, because like if it were canon, I'm not exactly sure where in the timeline it would be in the Zelda series, because you look at the timeline for the Zelda series, it's one of the most complex timelines in video game history. And that's really saying something, looking at all the high profile video game franchise that we have gotten in the past, like 30 plus years or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is necessarily a sales flop because it's way too early to tell. The game just came out. It hasn't been out for 6 months yet. It hasn't been out for a year yet. And it's just like, we're just gonna have to give it some time because I could definitely see this game possibly doing like 4 to 5 mil in about a year, depending on depending on how Nintendo market and promote this game within the next couple of months or so. And and I do feel like this is something that people can enjoy until Nintendo release their next major Zelda game because, like, let's be honest, this game is not going to sell nearly as much as Tears of the Kingdom, because I remember when Tears of the Kingdom came out back in 2023, it was breaking records in terms of sales, and it ended up being one of the most popular video games of 2023 overall. 2024, I know for the most part, has been a mixed bag in relation to video game releases. And despite how good Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is, I don't think it's necessarily going to win any awards for best video game of the year. And and it's something that I feel has the potential to be a nominee for one of the best Switch games of 2024. And as far as this particular game is concerned, I know it's been nominated by Golden Joystick Awards for the best console game of the year. It's been nominated for best action adventure game and best family game by the Game Awards of 2024. So yeah, I mean, this is actually one of Nintendo's strongest, titles in relation to 2024. And honestly, I'm excited to see what Nintendo plans on doing next with Zelda as a character, whether or not they're going to try to, I guess, add more depth to, Zelda as a character, opposed to just making her a damsel in distress, or whether or not, Nintendo's working on a spiritual successor for Tears of the Kingdom. And it's going to be hard to top Tears of the Kingdom in relation to like commercial success. And I feel like the Zelda series in general has I'm not gonna say, it's peaked and Nintendo's never going to surpass Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but it's hard for, it's gonna be hard for Nintendo to try and top all that. And with the Switch too, I mean, we have no idea what to expect. I'm hoping, we get a couple of remakes from older games, but we all know that Nintendo don't like to, remake older games. I would love to see a remake of Link to the Past or, Ocarina of Time. And I know Ocarina of Time has been done before, but I'm talking about a modernized remake of Ocarina of Time. There are certain games I would love to see remakes for that I don't think is something that's high on Nintendo's priority list at the moment. But but yeah, I mean, I feel like, Nintendo should do something of that nature until they come out with their next major Zelda game. And as far as Echo's Wisdom is concerned, it's not a sales flop. In fact, I think this is a game that sold more than a lot of people initially expected, because making Zelda as the main character was definitely a risk to some extent. And I feel like this is a year where I guess female protagonists like shine more than any other year, because I remember I think Princess Peach got her own video game earlier this year. I think it was the Showtime game, and I'm not exactly sure how well it did, but a lot of people have praised that game and had nothing but good things to say about it as well. And again, it's one of those things that Nintendo should have done years ago, but it's better late than never. So it is what it is. And honestly, um, I'm just going to sit back and wait to see how well Zelda Echoes of Wisdom does in terms of sales within the next couple of months or so.